How many of you has evident normal birth? Are you? If yes, when the baby is getting born, have you seen any events that takes place in baby's head? Yes, and that is not enough. Do you know there are some more events that takes place throughout the labor in the birth canal, which is known as mechanism of labor. Hi, I am Ankita Sen and welcome to my channel Nursing Sensation. So, today's video I'm going to discuss about you a very important clinical topic, that is mechanism of labor. Yes, I know this is a weighted topic for you all. So, what do you mean by mechanism of labor? It's a series of events on fetal head in the process of adaptations throughout the journey of labor through the maternal pelvis. So, in the mechanism of labor, there are total 8 cardinal signs. First, engagement. Second, descent. Third is flexion. Fourth is internal rotation of the fetal head along with crowning. Fifth is extension of the baby head. Sixth, it is the restitution. Seventh, that is the external rotation of the head along with the internal rotation of the baby's shoulder. And eighth and the last one is the lateral flexion, through which the body and the shoulder of the baby is getting born. There are some principles in the mechanism of labor. First is descent. Descent, as the name denotes, descent is a continuous process throughout the series of birth. Second one is whichever part of the fetal head is first touches to the pelvic floor is giving the resistance by the pelvic floor muscles. As a result, the fetal head is moves forward until it comes under the symphysis pubis and the baby is getting born. So these are the two principles of mechanism of labor. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the mechanism of labor in cephalic presentation, as because this is the most common positions, most common presentation during the birth. So here I'm going to show on the basis of the lie is longitudinal, the presentation is cephalic, the position is left occipito-anterior, the denominator is occiput, the attitude is well flexion, and the presenting part is the posterior part of the anterior parietal bone. On the basis of these parameters, today's video I am going to show you the mechanism of labor. Before starting the mechanism of labor, you must know about the basic diameters of the pelvic brim, that is pelvic inlet. So there are anterior posterior diameter, there are transverse diameter, and the oblique diameter of the pelvic brim. So first let us discuss about the anterior posterior diameter of the pelvic brim. So anterior posterior diameter of the pelvic brim is extend from the sacral promontory to the upper border of the symphysis pubis, which is 11 centimeter. The transverse diameter is the farthest point of the iliopectineal line, that is 13 centimeter. The oblique diameter is measured from one sacroiliac joint to the opposite of iliopectineal eminence. So if it is start from right, so it is known as a right oblique. If it is start from left, it is known as a left oblique. So it is the measurement from sacroiliac joint to the opposite of iliopectineal eminence, that is 12 centimeter. So in a whole, the anterior posterior diameter of pelvic brim is 11 centimeter, the transverse diameter of pelvic brim is 13 centimeter, and the oblique diameter of the pelvic brim is 12 centimeter. So, the first cardinal sign in cephalic presentation is engagement. Okay, so the engagement occurs when the largest diameter of the fetal head fits into the largest diameter of the maternal pelvis. So as the fetal head engages, the head moves forward to the pelvic brim in either left or the right occipito-transverse. So here I am showing you the left occipito-transverse. You can see the occiput here is here and it is transversely engaged. Okay, and the engaging diameter of the fetal head, you can see this is suboccipito-frontal. So it's a suboccipito-frontal, which is 10 centimeter in its diameter. So engaging diameter the anterior posterior diameter of the fetal head is, that is suboccipito-frontal, and the transverse diameter of the fetal head is biparietal diameter, that is 9.5 centimeter, which is the farthest point of two parietal eminence, which is 9.5 centimeter. Hopefully this is clear to you that the baby's anterior posterior diameter is suboccipito-frontal, that is 10 centimeter. The transverse diameter of the fetal head, which is getting engaged in the pelvic brim, that is biparietal diameter 9.5 centimeter, and the diameter of the pelvic brim in which the baby's head is getting engaged is the transverse diameter of the brim, that is, I have told you, that is 13 centimeter. That is the two furthest point of iliopectineal line. So now starts with the engagements. So engagement takes place in the pelvic brim. After that, the descent come, which is the second cardinal sign. So descent when the baby's head is come to the inlet and then descend down to the pelvic floor, which is known as a descent. So now descent is a continuous process. Okay, descent of the fetal head begins before onset of the labor. In case of primigravida, it occurs during the latter weeks. In case of multigravida, as the muscle tone are more lax and descent and engagement of the fetal head may not occur until the labor begins. Why this descent occurs? This occurs due to first the uterine contraction. As because there is a contraction of the uterine surge is there, so descents occur. And then second one is due to the pressure from the amniotic fluid. So amniotic fluid pressure is a cause of descent, and third one is the abdominal muscle contractions by the maternal effort. As there is a maternal effort, so abdominal muscles are getting contracted. As because of this, there is a descent takes place, which is a continuous process. Throughout the first stage of labor, there is a retraction of the uterine muscles, contractions and the retractions of the uterine muscles. So that reduce the capacity of the uterus, and it creates a pressure on the fetus to descend further. And this descent is getting speed up when there is a rupture of the forewater, and with the maternal effort the descent is getting speed up. So there is two factors when the descent is getting speed up. First is the rupture of the forewater, and second was the maternal effort. So this is the known as descent. So now the descent is continuing. Now come to the third cardinal sign, that is flexion. So as the fetal head comes into the contact with the pelvic floor, the cervical flexion occurs. So this flexions occurs throughout the labor, and it increases throughout the labor. And why these flexions occur? You can see here, there is a, with the uterine contraction, retraction, and the maternal effort and the resistance of the pelvic floor muscles. So the pressure is exerted down the fetal axis. Okay, this is the fetal axis, and pressure is going down, exerted down the fetal axis. And this pressure is transmitted where? In the occiput. And this is again transmitted to the sinciput. Okay, so as because the pressure is going like to the axis, to the occiput, to the sinciput. So here what is happening? The fetal head is getting flexed, and it touches to the fetus chin, is touches to the fetus chest. So increased flexions is helps to reduce the diameter. Okay, during the onset of labor, what I have said to you, that is the engaging diameter was suboccipito-frontal, that is 10 centimeter, that is suboccipito-frontal 10 centimeter. And with the greatest flexions, this diameter is getting reduced, and this come to the suboccipito-brachmatic, that is 9.5 centimeter, which again helps to descend the baby's head down very fastly. So you can see the baby is now in a well-flexed positions, okay, with the continuing descent. Now come to the internal rotation of the head. During the contraction, the leading part is pushed downward into the pelvic brim. During the contraction, the leading part is pushed down in the pelvic floor. Okay, so as the baby's head is going to the pelvic floor, is getting some resistance from the muscles presence over here. So now the muscular diaphragms are present here, who is giving the resistance, and these muscular diaphragms are in a hammock shaped. So due to this hammock shaped, it is easy to slope down anteriorly, and the fetal part meets the first slope directed towards the forward and towards the center. So baby's head is going forward, downward and toward the center. Okay, and as because there is a resistance by the muscular diaphragms, it brings in about the rotation. So now, as we all know, the baby's head was in a left occiput or transverse position. Okay, now it's rotate 90 degree and it's come to the occipito-anterior positions. Okay, now you can see the baby's head is an occipito-anterior position. So it is a well-flexed vertex. The occiput is the leading part. So here you can see there is a twisting present in the neck. You can see here the neck is getting twisted. So the anterior posterior diameter of the fetal head is lies. The widest diameter is the lies in the widest diameter of the pelvic outlet. Okay, so the anterior posterior diameter of the head lies in the widest diameter of the pelvis outlet. So here the occiput is slips beneath the suprapubic arch and crowning occur. So what do you mean by crowning? So crowning is said to occur when the widest diameter of the fetal head, that is a biparietal diameter, that is 9.5 centimeter, and anteroposteriorly the suboccipital-bregmatic diameter, that is 9.5 centimeter, is descending to the vaginal orifice. So here you can see the fetal head is negotiate through the narrowest part of the maternal bony pelvis. Okay. And how clinically you can understand this is crowning? It is evident when the head is visible at the vulva and no longer retreat between the contractions. I mean, you can see the fetal head's widest part without the contractions. When the contraction is ceased off, the fetal head is not going back. That is known as crowning. Now come to the next cardinal sign, that is extension of the head. So here you can see the occiput sits beneath the suprapubic arch, and you can see the nape of neck is pivoting against the arch. So this extension of the head is causes the stretching of the perineum. You can see it's stretched to the perineum is to its fullest. Okay, let me show you the extension of the head. So here you can see the extension of the head where the fetal's face is visible very clearly, and it's getting dropped down to the maternal perineum. Okay, this is extension of the head. Now restitution. So this is the visible passive movement of the fetal head, and this is due to the untwisting of the neck. So here the neck is getting untwisted and we can see the restitution. Okay, and then after there is an external rotation of the head, it rotates to face the left medial thigh of the mother. So again the baby's head is getting moved and you can see the baby is faces to the maternal thigh. How like is the same original it's getting engaged. So in the pelvic beam we have seen the baby head engaged in this transverse diameter. So now by the restitution and the external rotation, baby is now in a same position of its engagement. Okay, so here also baby's head is rotated 90 degree externally, and the baby's shoulder and the nape of neck is getting untwisted, and the shoulder also rotate 90 degree and comes under the same place as pubis. So now the last cardinal sign, that is lateral flexion. So by this lateral flexion, so baby's shoulder and the body is getting born. So here we have to give some downward traction to the fetal head to assist the birth of the anterior shoulder of the fetus below the suprapubic arch. So this is followed by the upward traction which assisting the birth of the posterior shoulder here, and with the lateral flexion you can see the whole body of the babies can born, and you can place the baby on maternal abdomen or the maternal chest. So in very quick review, I want to show you the 8 cardinal signs of mechanism of labor. Here you can see the baby is in a longitudinal lie. Okay, and here the presentation is cephalic, denominator is occiput, and here the baby is in a left occiputo-transverse position. Here first engagement takes place in the pelvic brim, and after that there is a descent, which is a continuous process. After that there is flexion, where the baby's fetal head length is getting shorter to helps to descend down of the baby's head throughout the birth canal. After that, there is an internal rotation of the fetal head by which baby's head is comes under the symphysis pubis, and there is a twisting in the baby's neck. You can see here. Okay, so there is a twisting in the baby's head. So, and after the internal rotation, here you can see there is a crowning, which again clinically see when the contraction is ceased off, you can see the baby's head is present in the maternal vulva. Okay, and after crowning, you can see here is there is an extension of the fetal head. When the extension of the fetal head occurs, after that fetus head is getting drooped down. After it's getting drooped down, here you can see the restitution, where you can see the visible movement in the fetal head, whereas there is a inside, there is the untwisting of the neck. After that, you can see the external rotation where the shoulder is getting untwisted and come under the suprapubic arch. And after that, you can see with the lateral flexion, first give the downward traction. By this, the anterior shoulder is coming out, give the assistance and give the upward traction where the posterior shoulder come out, and after that the baby is total body is coming out with the lateral flexion, baby placed on the maternal abdomen. So these are the 8 cardinal signs through which the baby is getting born in cephalic presentation. So these are the 8 cardinal signs of mechanism of labor through which the baby is getting born through the birth canal. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comment box. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that in future you will not miss any of our future content. So here we have seen the newborn came to the world, but the events are continued in the maternal side. What's that? This is only the end of the second stage of labor. The third stage of labor, I mean the placenta, is yet to delivered. So if you want to know the management of third stage of labor in details along with the recent WHO recommendations, along with the role of a nurse or a midwife, please see this video which will be helpful for you.